Mm.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Great, Lovepreet. It was very nice to get to know you and the couple of questions I asked you. But you're gonna go with the case review. Are you ready?
Yes.
Great. So your client is an airline. As you know, competition is fierce among the major airlines, with ticket prices being driven steadily downwards. After a year of weaker than average growth, they have hired our firm to devise a set of strategies for growth. Assume management's goal is profitable revenue growth rather than cost cutting.
Okay. So our client today is a airline, and what they would like us to do is develop some strategies for them to grow their revenue after they've seen a decline in their growth for the past year.
Yes, or weaker than
Yep.
average growth, but yes.
Weaker than average growth, yes. So, what are there any objectives of success for this case or metrics?
They haven't specified a growth target. They're just more interested in finding ways to increase profit, just not any specific number.
Okay. So that to grow profit or revenue?
Revenue, but
Yes.
their overall goal is to increase profit, but this is the case to focus on increasing revenue growth.
Okay. Could I ask some questions? So first, I would like to understand it's sort of their business model. So, how do they generate money? Is it only through the ticket sales? Are there other ways?
Absolutely. So this company, they charge clients for the price of a seat, including first class, business class, and economy class, as well
Mhm.
as the time to fly. So it's all inclusive in one ticket price.
Thank you. And what's their value proposition for their customers? Is there any information on that?
No, they're just another airline, just charging for one ticket per customer.
Is there any information about the competitors and sort of what they're doing right now? And are their growth sales, is their growth in terms of revenue also declining?
Yes, so there in regards to the market, there are over 10 competitors in the market, each holding a
Okay,
small share of the market. But there's no dominant player.
no,
Um,
don't say.
a dominant player, yes. And so that said, some flight routes are controlled by only one or two competitors.
Mm, okay. And just like off this point of the flight route being controlled by one or two competitors, is there any information about the flight route that our airline controls? Is it like a fast flight route, or is there anything special about that?
Nope,
Mm.
just that it's
Okay.
yeah.
And where is this business located? The
Um,
airline, what country are they operating out of?
no information, but I think you can assume international.
Yeah, let's do international. Okay. Okay, could I have a moment to structure a approach regarding the question of how we can grow the revenue for our client? Is that the right question to address?
Yes, to grow the revenue for our client.
Thank you. I'll just take a moment.
Sure.
Okay, I'm ready to share my framework.
Great.
Yeah, so first we are starting off with the addressing the question of how we can grow the revenues or the total sales for our client, which is a airline. And there are two things I would like to look at here. The first being revenue and sort of what's going on internally within the company. So like their sales and their quantity sold. The second being the external conditions that are extrinsic to the revenue growth of the company. However, they do indirectly play a role in the success of the company and their ability to generate revenue. Now, underneath revenue, we're taking a look at two categories here. We're taking a look at sort of the sales, so the sales, which includes the average price of a ticket, and then the number two, the average volume sold per flight or per year, if we want to look at minimum. And number three, we're looking at other revenue streams that we could potentially add to grow revenue. For example, could we add add-ons and bundles and food options and entertainment and the option for clients to, our customers to choose their own seats as ways to increase revenue. The second category under revenue is the company expertise. Under this, I would like to examine the company's operations along with their operations to examine closely if there's anything going on within the operations that might hinder their ability to grow revenue or can make them more efficient so they can generate more revenue, maybe by providing better services and better experiences for customers. The second would be marketing and sales to examine if we can optimize our ability to market to our customers and optimize our sales that way. The third would be to take a look at our customer support metrics to ensure that if a customer is getting the best support possible, so they want to come and fly with our airline over and over again. And that could be sort of part of our value proposition. Now, when looking at the market and sort of the more extrinsic elements of our ability to generate revenue would be the market conditions and really if the market is in a good position to help our airline grow. So for example, I would take a look at the trends underneath this to really examine that we're adhering to the kind of trends that are present in the airline industry right now, be it in terms of service, be it in terms of operations. Are we adhering to that and maybe to the digitalization of air flying as well? And the second would be to take a look at the market size. As you had mentioned that there are over 10 players in the market and no dominant player. Is there a likelihood of someone being a dominant player? And is there something we can learn from a different competitor in the market? Now, stemming from that point, I would take a look at the competitors, the indirect and direct, to take a look at what they're doing well and something we can learn from. And also to take a look at their sales in the past and present to leverage that. And also third, to look at their value. So what's their value add to customers? And is there something we can, again, learn from and optimize on to generate revenue? Then my final element that I would focus on is of customers. So I would take a look at the value we provide our customers and if we're actually providing customers with the value that we say we would provide them with, and if we're meeting their needs. Now, given my framework to move forward, I would like to examine the sales to begin with, to get a better idea of the kind of revenue we're generating at the moment, and really to see where we're generating the most revenue in terms of the airline, unless there's somewhere else where you think we should begin.
Great. So yeah, looking at the revenue would definitely give an idea of where our company is currently. But I really like what you said about looking at the customers and the value proposition that we offer our customers.
Yes.
So if we'll go ahead, we'll look at we'll take a look at what our customers are looking at. Let me quickly look the file. 1 second. Great. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. So on the screen, I see an exhibit, which is the percentage of respondents rating factor very important when choosing an airline. And on the x-axis, I see the factors of price, time of departure, quality and comfort, attentive service, and the variety of destinations. And now here, I believe that with the markers of the color red and gray, we see perhaps those respondents that were traveling for business or respondents that were traveling for vacation. So we see two different segments of customers. And based on that, we see that for individuals who are traveling for business, they seem to rate attentive service as around about a little bit more than 80%. And the quality, and second would be quality of the airline and the comfort as their two primary elements, and they seem to rate variety of destinations as least important factor to them when choosing an airline. Whereas the individuals that are flying for vacation seem to list price as their most important factor at approximately close to 90%. And the second factor that's important for them is time of departure at about a little bit more than around 65%. And for them also, the least important factor is the variety of destinations. So from this, what we can gather is that based on our two customer segments, business and vacation, they seem to be there's different factors that are important to them, and which we see over here. However, there's what's not important to both of them is the variety of destinations. So from this, something that we could take away is that perhaps we can explore the idea of not offering so many destinations for routes that our airlines take, but focusing on these other elements that are important to our two primary segments, customer segments of businesses and of people traveling for business or traveling for vacation.
Great.
Mhm.
So great job noticing that attentive service is most important for our business clients, and vacation clients mostly prefer the price. Given these preferences by the business travelers and vacation travelers, what ideas do you have for improving the experiences and the value proposition for both classes of customers? What are some ideas you have?
Yeah, could I have a moment to write down my ideas?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready to share my ideas.
Great. What do you got?
Yes, so for the business travelers, I would recommend, there's three ideas that I have here. Primarily the first being to do possibly a joint venture with maybe a luxury travel company to provide more services and accessories for those when they're on the plane. So to give them better service and more of a luxury experience, possibly through the quality of blankets we offer and sleep accessories that we have. The second being customer service, training our airline staff and staff on site at the airport to be more courteous, to be more attentive to the needs of the travelers is another option. And the third would be airport facilities. So perhaps in the airport, we have a separate lounge for our travelers for them to relax and have a very luxurious travel experience, and one that shows them a lot of attention and comfort and quality in the care that they receive, along with improving the air quality of the airline itself in terms of the seat, the comfort of the seats, the comfort of the pillows, and of the lighting in the plane as well. Now, in terms of the individuals that travel for vacation, the first is I would play around with the pricing to make adjustments. For example, we have a competitor named Flair Airlines. Flair Airlines they literally let the individuals purchase the flight ticket, then any add-on features such as food, such as seat preference, or anything else that falls under that category are add-ons that the customer adds themselves that will increase their price. But they get the option of buying a very cheap airline ticket. So maybe that's something we can explore, and also operating airplane that is at the most basic level of operations, not something that's very luxurious, because price plays a large role for these travelers. And the second is to provide, based on some more research about what this segment likes in terms of time, like do they want really early flights or very late flights, or do they want flights majorly throughout the day, like 12 p.m. In a sense. We would offer more timings for the individuals as well, based on a survey of what timing these customers are looking for. So those are my ideas.
Absolutely, great. Yes, good ideas for improving the service for business travelers and better pricing for vacation travelers. So moving on from looking at the differences in the customers we have, where would you like to go forward next to look at?
Yeah, I would like to take a look at if improving the service for one of these customer categories, perhaps the business travelers to begin with, would help us increase our revenue. So perhaps if we provided more attentive service, or if in case of the vacation travelers, if we decrease the price, or if we decrease the price, would that increase our revenue?
Absolutely. So I see what you're saying. Definitely with implementing new services for our customers would be good. However, stepping away from our customers, what other factors to move forward? What other factors will affect the demand of airline tickets other than the price or the quality of ticket? What other to move forward? What other factors would determine demand for airline tickets?
Yeah, I would like to explore information about maybe the time periods. So is this that travelers are traveling? So is this primarily a vacation period, or is this is this December in terms of sales, like where people are traveling or flying back home for holidays? So it may be exploring how time periods play a role in the sort of sales and price of the revenue in this case.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at this. I'll share the next exhibit. Here we go. Do you see the exhibit?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay, so in this exhibit, we see the average percentage of seats sold per month. On the x-axis, we see the months through January to December. So this seems to be data for one given year. And on the y-axis, we see the percentages. Based on the data here, we see that one of the high points of the number of seats being sold is in March, with it being close to 100%. And then one of the low periods seems to be in July, where the number hits around, I would say, 45% approximately. And then it starts to pick up again in August. So in August starts to pick up again. And then we see that in March, and then yes. So largely the seats the number of seats being sold seems to be relatively high in terms of it hitting 45% in July, but we do see that it goes up in March, and it starts off stable in January at around 82%. Then it goes down a bit, like a few percentages, to 70%, to then go up in March. But then from March to July, it's at a slow decline. So March to July, it's declining. And then in July, it's picking up again.
Great.
Okay, so it's picking up again, and then in December, it gets relatively higher at around 90%. So from this, what we can see is that there are the sort of revenue we're generating does have a pattern to it, in a sense, that it starts off relatively high. In the fall it's high, and in the winter it's high until March. However, through March to July, to sort of the spring summer months, our average percentage of seats being sold does decline. So I would like to examine the reasons for that decline, to see if maybe that's somewhere where we can make some adjustments to then have a greater percentage of seats being sold during those months.
Great. Between the months of, say, May and September, right?
Yes, May and September. Yes.
Right, between that.
Between.
Great. So yeah, you're great noticing that the airlines are almost fully booked in the winter season, but during the summer it's struggling. So could you come up with some ways to boost sales in the summer?
Yes. Could I have a moment to write down my notes?
Yes, go ahead.
My thoughts. Sorry, thank you. Okay. I've noted down primarily three methods to boost the sales or the number of seats that we're selling per month during the spring/fall period of May to September. The first, we can offer discounts to our customers in the form of bundles. So maybe if they're doing family traveling, they get more of a discount, or if they travel more frequently, maybe by introducing a sort of travel card where they can gain points and other rewards. So there's more incentivization for them to travel. And the second would be do marketing and sales. So people are traveling, but why are they not traveling with us? So through our marketing and sales, maybe we can promote the strengths of our airline more. And through our sales team, we can, through advertisements, we can increase the sort of brand awareness of our airline and the value proposition to the target customer demographic, so that more people choose to fly with us instead of flying with the alternative airlines during those periods. And this third element here would be to improve the quality of service that we provide. So perhaps the reason why individuals are not traveling with us during those periods of May to September is the quality of our airlines during those summer and spring months. So maybe we should take a look at the other airlines that have more sales during that time, or at least on average, their sales seem to be consistent. To take a look at what we can do to increase to make our service match theirs, or do better, so that we can get those customers traveling with us. And something we should also consider is this a normal pattern in the industry for airlines to not have that many individuals traveling during the summer months?
Great, absolutely. Those are some great ideas.
Thank you.
So moving forward, Do you have some ideas of where to go next with in regards to increasing revenue?
Yes. Considering this information and because we want to increase revenue, I would suggest we take a look at what our competitors are doing during the periods of May and September to see if we can possibly look at what their operations are like or what their sales values are like to then take some of the elements of what they're doing and generate sales that way. Is
Right.
that something you think is a good idea?
So yeah, that's definitely looking at the competitors and what they're offering is definitely a good place to go at some point. However, looking forward about looking at what our from the first exhibit, what our customers are looking for between
Yes.
vacation and
Yes.
business,
Yes.
and as
Yes.
well seeing that the sales are slow in the summer months.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think moving forward, looking at the customers? Uh,
Mhm.
what would you like to know?
Yes, so considering that during the vacation time, a large vacation time is in the summer months, so specifically from May to August. So I would like to take a look at how we can use this information that our sales are less during that period, and the fact that we can boost our sales using some methods to increase the amount of travelers during that period, specifically vacation travelers, and perhaps by exploring the ideas of having cheaper flights for them and more time options available.
Great. So you'd like to see what all the ideas we're brainstorming, what our customers are looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Let me share your screen really quick. One second. Just oops. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, thank you. In this exhibit, we see price sensitivity, so that's letting us know about how customers would react to our pricing and the percentage of respondents agreeing with the following statements. So the first statement, I would take a worse departure time if it was cheaper, and we see that largely the answer to that is a yes. I would take a layover overnight to save money. Largely the answer to that is no. I would reduce my baggage if it lowered the price, and the answer is majority is yes. And I use discounting services when choosing my flight. So the answer is yes. From this, we understand that we can charge customers a cheaper flight fee. 1 second, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna write this down. We can charge our customers a cheaper fee if we are they're willing to use a worse time, so we can do more research about what a worse time may be. Maybe that's a really early time or a time in the evening, and then we can charge them a cheaper flight. Our customers would not like a layover overnight to save money, so that's not really an option to us. And then we could reduce, customers are willing to reduce the number of bags they take for a cheaper price. So we can also make the requirements that they can't carry that much luggage, on the flight to help decrease to justify a lower price. And then customers also use discounting services, so they would like a discount also on the fare. So overall, if we were to move forward with this idea to increase revenue, we could decrease the price for the flights that we charge per seat, considering that our customers are willing to take a worse time. So in terms of departure time, we could give these customers maybe a really late time in the evening or very early flight time, and they would be okay with that, considering that they don't mind a worse departure time. We could also make it so customers can carry less luggage, so maybe only a carry-on or one suitcase, and that would justify the price. And we should also offer them discounts because customers are more than half of our customers report yes to the statement of using discounting services. So these are 3 things that we could look into in ways of boosting sales and justifying a cheaper price for our per seat on our airline.
Great, great. So yeah, there's a whole list of factors given that would make it so we could sell cheaper tickets by unbundling some
Yeah.
so absolutely unbundling some services. So from this exhibit, taking ideas of
Mhm.
what you would do to lower the tickets, lower the ticket price. What would be some benefits and drawbacks from
Mhm.
uh unbundling some of these services from our current offerings of tickets?
Yes. Could I have a minute to put my thoughts together?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm ready to share my ideas.
Great.
Yeah, so one of the benefits of starting off with time, so making our departure times at worst times, presumably early in the morning or late in the evening. A benefit of that is customer service, so the airport won't be as busy, so its customers won't be complaining about long lines and long wait times in any element. So whether that was at check-in or when they were onboarding or getting off the airplane. A drawback of that would be with our staff, so operations. So staff would have to work at other time, like odd times perhaps, and like scheduling could be a concern there. With bags and baggages, sorry, benefit would be that it would take customers less time to get onto the airplane because they won't have to be checking in so many bags, and there'll be less concerns in terms of a bag getting lost and so forth. And also for the operations team, it's less work in terms of checking bags to make sure everything is okay and there's nothing that shouldn't be on an airplane that's on an airplane. A drawback there is that what do we do when customers want to carry more on an airplane? So this might be something that we can't do in all airplane on all the planes that we have, and this might be something that we have as an option. So maybe some people can use the option of taking less luggage and paying a base price, whereas some people can pay more money to carry a heavier bag. Now, with the discount, a benefit of that is we could increase sales because our price would be at a discount for customers. So more people that want a cheaper flight would be able to have that. However, in the long term, that might hurt our brand identity because it might signal to our competitors and to other potential new clients and new customers that we want to acquire that our airline is cheap or the quality is of a poor quality, which we do not want to signal as well. And over time, it might be a concern because our sales value might be less than the cost we incur of traveling and of fuel and actually running the airline. So those are some of the drawbacks with that. Yes.
Great. Let's see. Great. So, with our customers, thinking of where would you like to go next? Thinking about
Yes.
where, since we unbundling uh,
Mhm.
some of our
Yeah.
services.
I would like to move forward with considering how providing a discount to customers would impact our ability to increase revenue.
Great, great,
And the reason for that is that the discount and a cheaper price seems to be repeated multiple times through the customer service through all elements of the analysis so far. So considering the price in the beginning with the first exhibit, then in the third exhibit, we also included that as one of the options for boosting sales. And then also in the previous exhibit, we see that customer respondents were also saying that they don't mind having a cheaper ticket through unbundling. So that's something I would like to explore.
great. Okay. So just with the prices of the seat declining, just how our customers will react, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, I have some information on that. Great. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Okay, so we see exhibit here again of price elasticity. So a flight from JFK to IAH.
Yeah.
And we see here that on the x-axis, we have percentages of seats filled, and the line represents per seat. And on the y-axis, we have the price per seat. So we see here that I'm assuming that the airline capacity is 200 seats. So we see that at 100%, so if the seats were filled at 100%, customer we would be charging a price of $400.
Oh, just reposition it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, of $400. And if our seats were filled at 50% of capacity, so 50% of capacity would be 100 seats, and then we would be charging customers $900. And that seems to be the price there. Then if we were filled at 100% capacity, so that means all the 200 seats were filled, we could charge customers $400, which is less than half of what customers would be paying if we were at full capacity. From this value, I would like to calculate, considering the capacity and the price of how much it would cost in total, what our revenue would look like, given the points of if we were at 50% capacity or we were at 100% capacity, and the price that we would charge per seat.
Great. So you're looking at the revenues for each price point.
Yes, for each price point.
Great. That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, 1 second.
Great. So where you said you would multiply the
Oh, so sorry.
yeah,
Yes, so to calculate the revenue, I would start off by considering the sort of what our revenue would look like if we were operating at full capacity. So sorry, well, let's start off with 50%. So if we're operating at 50%, that means out of 200, that's 100 seats. And we were charging $400. I would multiply the number of seats.
900 for 50%. For 50%,
Yeah.
$900.
Yeah, sorry, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no problem.
$900.
Yeah.
So then I would multiply those two values to see what we could charge per flight, what our revenue would be per flight in that case. So in that case here, we would have, I believe it's $9,000 or 90.
900 times 100. So
Yeah, it's 90.
yep, 90,000, right?
Yes, 90,000. Now moving on to at 60% capacity, 60% capacity of 100 of 200. So that's sorry, just 1 second. So that would be about 130 seats multiplied by $800.
More like 120. Yes, 120.
120. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. I would multiplying 120 by 800. That would be a total of $96,000.
Yep, that's right.
Moving forward to 70%, that would be of the 200. That would be around 140 seats.
Yes.
Yeah. Multiplied by 700. That would be $88,000 in revenue.
Just check that one more time.
Yeah, sorry, just 1 second.
No problem, no problem.
Sorry, 98.
Yes, 98.
And then moving on to 80%, that will be 160 tickets,
Mhm,
multiplied by $600.
mhm.
That's also $96,000.
Yep.
And then moving on to the 90%, which is going to be 180 seats for the flight, multiplied by a price of $500.
Mhm.
That will be $90,000 in revenue.
Mhm.
Now moving on to 100%, which is our 200 seats multiplied by a price of $400. We have $80,000.
Mhm.
So from this, we can infer that by possibly by offering a discount at the 70% capacity, which we see is the 140 seats per flight at a price of $700, would give us the most revenue of $98,000 per this flight route. And then what comes close second is the 60% capacity and the 80% capacity. So a price range of $600 to $800 is where we make the most revenue by offering a discount of approximately 50, a little more than 50%, so 55%. We're making the least amount of revenue. And by offering anything that's closer to that, like at the $500 price point, we're not generating that much revenue. And same with goes for the $900 price, which is at the 50% capacity. So we're better off with our price in terms of discount, ranging from the $600 point to the $800 point. And ideally at the $700 point, we're generating the most revenue.
Great. Absolutely. So going ahead, um,
Mhm.
it looks like so our client is walking the door and they're wondering what they should move forward with in increasing revenue. What would you recommend to our client?
Yes, could I have a moment to put together my recommendation?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready to share my recommendation.
Sure, go ahead.
So to begin with, thank you for giving us the opportunity to work on this problem of determining how to increase the revenue for your airline. What we recommend is that we change the price using a discounting model by making the price be anywhere from $600 to $800 to generate more revenue, as well as adding some add-on features if our customers choose to increase the price a bit more. Some risks associated with this recommendation include these three. The first is that the reasons for this recommendation are that customers want cheaper prices, and that's very clear from the research that was provided. And that customers also suggest unbundling and allowing them to customize their ticket based on their needs. And ideally, what they want is a cheaper flight. And the third is that this range is where we see the most increase in revenue relative to any other range of price after discounting. The risk associated with this recommendation is one, that we need to examine the other routes. So the route we examined was from JFK to IAH. And in that route, we see that revenue increases when we discount to this price zone, but we need to examine the other routes to make sure that that's the case there as well before we discount at large for many flights going to many different locations. The second risk here is that we might have a missed opportunity without exploring other avenues for increasing revenue, such as the ideas we generated earlier of marketing and of decreasing the amount of bags individuals can carry, and of changing the flight times to worse flight times. Now, given more time, if we had a few more months, I would like to examine the other routes to ensure that if we move forward with this discounting strategy, we can do it flight-wide. So all the flights can follow this sort of discounting metric, or is it just going to pertain to certain flight destinations and certain airports that we operate out of? Thank you for your time, and this was a great experience.
Great.
Thank
All
you.
right, great job, Lovepreet. That was really,
Thank you.
really great. Really, that was awesome. You
You
nailed
worked
it.
well. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me just make a couple notes. Pilot test. Yeah, for new flights. New flight pricing. Great.
Yeah.
That was really, really great. Good job.
Thank
I
you.
actually, yeah, I mean, how do you feel? Like that
Yeah, I felt good. I felt like okay, like I felt challenged, but like I saw it coming, like all the elements, a lot of brainstorming.
Yeah,
A lot of
exactly.
yeah.
I think you're ready. I think you hit just about everything you need
Thank
to
you,
hit.
thank you.
That was just really awesome, actually.
Thank
So
you.
great
Yeah.
job. Yeah, how do you feel overall? I mean, really, that
Yeah.
was great. That was
Yeah,
really
I feel good. I really enjoyed it. I felt like, it was interesting to see, like, one thing I also acknowledge, like what my case coach also said. He was like, there's certain elements like when you're doing the case where you're not hitting the point, but if you show that like when you were like nudging me to the right direction, that I can be nudged in the right direction is also important. Like not to be like, oh my God, I'm not going in the right direction and have a mental breakdown. It's like, no, yes, I can listen to you,
Yeah.
So that was very helpful. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I think it was a good case. Like I think also because it's an airline, like I have experience like going on an airplane, so I can like pick on things. I think if it was an industry that I didn't know about, I would be like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to give me this case.
This is cool. Yeah, I seriously, I was really impressed. You just kept getting, and I mean, I hope, I'm gonna give myself kudos. I think I did a good job nudging you. I think.
Yeah, you did a good job. Yeah, I was like, whoa, go Steven.
No, definitely. No, this is great. Let me just go over what my notes were. Super quick. Share with you the. This is the wrong. Yeah, really did. This was really great. So let me share my screen. Um, Here we go. So yeah, here's the case prompt. Kind of airline. You went with great questions. You looked at what does the revenue look like. You got exactly that. You got competitors. You got exactly that. And then
I could ask for a growth target, right?
Yeah, you asked for growth target right up here. No, but you missed the customers. You could have figured out that you can but that would have come later on. In regards to your structure, it would have been helpful, but you see what I mean. It's you got what you need. With the structure, let me take a look really quick. with the structure. You took 3 minutes for the structure. You took 3
Okay.
minutes.
Mhm.
So I would recommend working on some kind of shorthand, like instead
Yeah,
of profit write P, instead of revenue write R, instead of
yeah. You're right
uh
about that because I write in like full letters,
exactly,
like full terms.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Like I think just sitting down, just getting all the profit P, revenue R, cost C,
Yeah.
competitors,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
out or
Mhm.
whatever, or
Yeah, yeah,
isolate
yeah.
it.
It's
But
gonna be that or write faster.
yeah,
I
no,
take
no,
my time to write neatly.
it's just not possible. So I wrote market M, location is
Mhm.
L,
Mhm.
marketing is M dollar sign,
Mhm.
variable cost VC, fixed cost FC, price is
Mhm.
dollar sign, volume
Yeah,
V. So I mean you can make your own like whatever, but yeah,
yeah,
just getting a shorthand down because
yeah. You're right about that.
that would cut a lot of time. That was something that my case coach recommended me to do too. I was like to my case, I'm like, I am writing as fast as I can. Like,
Yeah,
how am I supposed to get this in 90 seconds? He's like, shorthand, you gotta do shorthand.
yeah.
So building a little bit of a shorthand would
Mhm.
be helpful. Um, Great. So moving on, price and volume. Internal and external are pretty like standard.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think you could have been a little bit more customized. I think no, you eventually broke it down. And
Yeah,
so and yeah, and overall just great delivery. I could follow it along. It's so much better than yesterday. And
yeah.
even yesterday wasn't that bad either. But you know what I
Mhm.
mean. Like is
Yeah,
what we talked about.
yeah. Like
As
like with the categories in my mind, it's usually internal, external, but when I explain it, I try to make it sound like so we're focusing on revenue, which is like the main element of the problem, and then the other extrinsic values like the market and what's going on there. But maybe I can add more context to that when I'm speaking, so it doesn't seem generic, right?
maybe
Yeah,
the thing is so my case coach the first time that we did a case together I
yeah,
used internal and external. My
yeah,
case coach said, okay, that's internal external, we are never using that again because it's just
yeah,
overused, everyone uses it, you know what I mean,
mhm,
it's just the same,
mhm.
or we're not using
Yeah,
that ever again. So if anything, just don't use the words. I think like maybe
yeah.
just
That's the thing. I can't use the words. Use the words. Internal, external.
yeah, because he's just like, yeah, we're never using that framework again. But yeah, so you could just flip through the, what I think is just flip through the structuring modules, the think,
Yeah,
right?
I was looking at that today. Yeah.
Yeah, just get a
Mhm.
couple ideas, just get that buzzing in your brain, and then go into the
Yeah.
case review.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
will do that.
Great. And so I think it was great. You said, do you think there's another place to start? I think that was cool.
Mhm.
One thing I noted was that when you said here, wait, do you see my email right now?
Yeah, I see. Mhm.
One thing that I noticed.
Could I answer this call quickly, Stephen?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, Josh. How are you? I'm, yeah. Are you on? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's too bad. Valentine's Day, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You see,
Yeah,
you guys planned something for the next
yeah.
day. She was busy yesterday.
National Single. No, I had nothing. Oh, I had nothing. So National Singles Day, so
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah.
Um, anyways, so yeah, keep going
That's,
forward. So great job with why do you think there's no place to start? But I think you should
mhm.
go. You want to look at current revenue, right? The current.
Yeah, yeah.
I was wondering why do you want to start there? I mean, why, what's your reason for starting there? And I think that would be
Mhm.
a good, your hypothesis, right? Like, oh, maybe there's some, like whatever it is, right? Whatever it
Yeah.
is, just think about, yeah.
Mhm.
So moving forward, good job noticing the vacation and businesses was important. Um, there were some ideas like, you had ideas about service, about increasing the services for business travelers, uh,
Mhm.
also vacation travelers. You did a great job. You did a great job with the customers. I think you said marketing and advertisements, and
Mhm.
I think you said that. Yeah, yeah, good job bringing another life example. There I would say to be a little bit more specific
Mhm.
in regards to like the business travel, even stuff like leg room. You said stuff. This was good though. You said the pillow, eye mask, and toiletries, making
Yeah.
comfortable. So that was good. But
Mhm.
yeah, just definitely could do a little bit more. But for a brainstorm, it was not
Yeah.
bad. That's great.
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, there was, just nudged you along with the revenue and seasonability, so that was good. And you got the flights during the year, great. That was really good. I was really happy with how fast you got that. Uh,
Mhm.
and so we opened. This is all nitpicking, by the way. You really did a great job, like really
Thank you,
across
thank
the board, great job. I'm just
you,
nitpicking.
thank you.
With this exhibit,
Mhm.
I guess it's easy for me to say because I'm on the other side. But I think that this was a pretty like straightforward exhibit to see. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah, the middle of the year is tough and the other side is good.
Mhm.
And I feel like just having taken that away after taking
Yeah.
like a couple moments of that, you could be all right, what's next? You know,
Mhm.
let's do something about May to September or something like that, right? And
Huh.
then we would have moved on to see like, okay, well, yeah, here we go, we'll create, let's come up with some ideas. And so there's another brainstorm. So definitely just like, not making it too complicated, taking exhibit as face value, you know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
so but then that you did get it eventually, but just could have been a little quicker, but that's okay. Nice job with the I could see what you were doing with the
Yeah,
like offering what you were really saying was a loyalty program, right? That's
yeah, yeah.
so you got that.
Mhm.
Fire sale when you said discount during the summer, you were essentially saying fire sales, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and great job with the marketing and advertisements. You could have, said a little bit more about different ways to do it, but that's okay. Then customer surveys, not so much, and then partnerships, not so much. But you got the first three, so that was good for
And then there was customer surveys. So let's take a look at that. Customer surveys and
partnerships, yeah, and like
right.
vacation bundles. But you did think of 2 to 3 specific strategies to boost sales in the summer, so that was just great, great. That was just great. Moving forward, with a debrief, yeah, we talked about, I think going back, just getting an idea of what each exhibit has been saying. So I mean, looking at the bigger picture about, so now we talked about, just see, do you see how this could go to pricing and customer preferences,
Yeah.
eventually to price elasticity. I'm not sure like if in the moment I would be able to do that, but like from the outside, from this perspective, like looking at the bigger picture of what you'd want to do next, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which is like price sensitivity. Um, excuse me. And so then going forward, yeah, we look at this. Great job noticing what you need to know this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and so moving forward, like the cheaper tickets, and what you would do for the cheaper tickets. Um, and you did a great job with
Mm-hmm.
reducing the baggage, and you also said something about now they have to pay extra baggage, and that would be kind of annoying. And great job with the brand. That was a great notice, is the brand. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they were hoping to for you to
Mm-hmm.
get.
So it
Um,
was cheaper tickets and
cus-
benefits would be cheaper tickets and customer acquisition. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you were saying about like,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
that's the with it, yeah. Customer acquisition and the drawback that was angry customers, yeah. And
that
then
was
yeah,
identity,
yeah.
and then the brand hurts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so then from there, let me see what next. So that was good. Quality service. With the marketing, just a little bit more examples, like what you would
Mhm.
what avenues you would do, or what you would market with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exhibit 3. Wait, oh, this is already. This is the wrong one. Is it cheaper tickets? This is her. That was great. Just her brand identity. That was just a great. That was right on point.
Mhm.
Exhibit 4. Yeah, great job thinking of revenue per seat. That was great. Going back to your North Star objective, right?
Mhm.
Like that was your
Mhm.
North Star objective, which thinking of revenue, and so that was just right on point. That was just great. Going back to your objective. Um,
Mhm.
the math was slow and steady, but again, I need to remind you to walk me through it. I was like, hey, so what
Yeah,
math?
yeah. Yeah, I have to
Yep.
remember to always like to like really keep this in my mind, like explain
Yeah.
the formula you've set up,
Let's work
Not
together,
gonna
right? Work together.
yeah,
Yeah.
work together, I really like I'm gonna write a highlighter today. But I think I did a better job. Like, you had to nudge me, but like yeah.
Yeah. And so then, yeah, we just did one line at a time, and that was great. Just one line at a time. Slow and steady. Of course. And then we worked together when number 2 wasn't working out. We worked together, and then
Mhm.
great insight, just knowing that 700 was the best for our price range.
Mhm.
And then from there, conclusion, there was a lot to take in, a lot to take in. So yeah,
Mhm.
you can see here, yeah, you got all the numbers. There's 700 is the way to go. You could have brought in like what you learned before about the seasonality, like some,
Mhm.
100% to whatever percent. Uh,
Mhm.
but it's close to the average, so that's good. And then finally with the debrief and conclusion, you said like you had a great whatever it was, unbundling the packages and bring it to $700, 600, $800, whatever, right?
Mhm.
However, your risks were kind of just out of nowhere, right? It was like, oh,
Mhm.
let's look at completely different products and let's, this and that. Let's, I forgot what exactly you would.
So my risks were that the risk could be here be that we need to take a look at the other routes. So if we're saying that let's apply this discount metric, we only looked at one route so far. So we have to look at the other routes, because if we apply the discount to like every route they take, what if it doesn't make money, for example?
Yeah.
Then the other one was missed opportunity. So if they, maybe they should be doing a partnership or whatever instead of discounting. So are we missing an opportunity?
Absolutely. So
Mhm.
what you were saying, that you were essentially like alluding
Yeah.
to was what is it?
Yeah.
Um a pilot test of the ticket bundling change. That's what you were really saying, right? Like let's put it
Yeah.
on one route or
Yeah.
whatever. So that was a
Yeah.
great and then yeah, just the risks. I forgot what your risks were, but I remember like
Mhm. Yeah.
for lack of a better term, I wasn't entirely impressed by it. I mean, you did amazing so far. I mean, for the whole
Mhm.
thing, but
Mhm.
for,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot what your risks were, but I
Yeah.
was kind of like, I'm not
Mhm.
sure about those risks being relevant.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
overall, and that's it. That's it. I think you end on a great note. Pilot test and marketing efforts and yeah.
Mhm.
So great job, great job. Really, I that was really great. Just really,
Yeah.
really. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
so I'm gonna send you these notes. I'll also, I sent you the YouTube video for last time.
Yeah.
So overall, just great job, great job.
Thank you.
You can see
Mhm.
how all this stuff is just kind of like nitpicking, right? You can kind of see.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
so
realized like one thing I could have also done in the recommendation is bring back the business travelers, like, oh, they should increase the level of service for them, right?
yeah.
I didn't mention them in my recommendation. I really just focused on the vacation travelers who want cheaper tickets.
Mhm. Yeah. If anything, the one thing I would say that like needs work is to drive it forward, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like drive like okay, now I have this data. And I was like, okay, all right, so like what do you want to do next, right? And then
Mhm.
you gotta
Yeah.
drive it forward.
Yeah.
Even if
Mhm.
it's not what I'm looking for, right? Like let's drive the case forward and like we
Yeah.
have to go like, but what's next? What next
Mhm.
steps? So
Mhm.
I think that's the one thing I would say that you would like, that's more of a bigger point to improve on is driving.
Mhm. Mhm.
Driving this forward with the so what. You did give the so what, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But driving this, what do you want to look at next? As well, just being more concise.
Mhm.
You're definitely a lot more confident and
Mhm.
but yeah, more concise and clear. Just
Yeah.
like a lot of times you were saying like one thing like three different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you see what I mean, right? You've gotten so much better. But yeah.
Yeah, like I should make sure like this is to be really nitpicky, like to use top down and structure everywhere, like top down, very clear and concise. Keep focusing on synthesis. So, this, what does this mean? So, this is what the drivers of this is, and this is the implications.
Exactly. So yeah, but I include all these notes, but great job. And also another thing is shorthand.
Yeah,
Shorthand
yeah, shorthand, yeah.
for your structure. But
Mhm.
definitely, just revenue is R now, profit is
Yeah,
P, marketing
yeah,
is $1 sign,
mhm,
variable
yeah.
cost.
I'll create yeah,
Yeah, just make it a quick note. Just make a quick note.
yeah,
Just like make a little flashcard or something. Um,
yeah. I'll make a flashcard, yeah.
just to see whatever. I actually
Mhm.
made it myself. Um, yeah, market is M, location is L,
Mhm.
um, volume is V, price is
Mhm.
$sign P. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So just make a little note of that.
yeah.
But that's just about it. Yeah, great job, really, seriously.
Thank you.
Since I've seen you in your first case, right? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
great job. You just great job. Really, I
Mhm.
can't say enough. I'm actually kind of nervous to follow that up tonight. So
No, 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 you're good. You're good, Steven.
cool. Okay.
You're good.
Great. So I'm
The Pacific. Yeah, is there something you want me to focus on for the case tonight? Like,
gonna no, I guess I'm pretty much starting. I wouldn't say starting from scratch, but I've kind of just um I wouldn't say stepped away. I just kind of like just been kind of analysis paralysis kind of, I mean, I just kind of
mhm.
wait, by the way, any more thoughts? Because I'll stop the recording.
Yeah, yeah, no more thoughts. Yeah, I'm good.
Great.